police in the town of Mulhouse, France, got an anonymous call telling them to go to the Rue de Toulouse and they'll find a man tied up. 2 squad cars went to said locations, and between 2 buildings, they found a 74-year-old man bound, bleeding, gagged, tied to an iron gate, and very clearly beaten up.
Ooh.
What up, fam?
What up? Welcome, episode 142. If you're new here, thank you for joining. If you love it, tell everyone you know. Write a review, please. Let's get up those charts.
Let's do it.
Yeah. This morning didn't start off so great. Lack of sleep, the whole thing. But it really turned around when I was on my way to drop the kids off at daycare. And I saw this car, and in black Sharpie on the side of it was written, cheating whore.
Oh, hell yes.
And this girl was pissed. I've never seen her jaw clenched.
Oh,
like that. Oh my God. I immediately called my husband. I was like, guess what? He was like, no way. Well, that's enough to make anyone's day turn around.
I mean, I would like to know the story behind it.
My God, I know. And there it was like, God, she's just going to work like that. I was like, she's not going to work. I'll tell you one thing. I know where she's going.
Yeah.
I know where she's going.
Pissed.
She's pissed.
Oh my God. I don't care if she's going to let that guy have it. I would never drive one tiny little foot in that car.
Oh my God.
Without a mask on, without a disguise, with the sunglasses and the fake mustache. I'd be like, you fucker.
Cheating whore.
The end of one relationship, and I don't know what I was going to say.
I was about to say, are you beginning your story with a relationship? Because then that would have been good transition.
Really good transition, but it's not. I also want to throw in there real quick. Thanks everyone who bought the new merch.
Our walking advertisers. Thank you.
I know you are the shit. So we're going to place the order. Those will go out sometime this month in March, and thank y'all so much. And then we'll restock with
meaning you'll get them in March.
Yeah, you'll get them in March.
Well, it sounds like we'll order them sometime in March. It's
no, we're going to order them like now, and then you'll get them sometime in March. And then we'll let y'all know when we have like a steady stock of some of the styles, just like up on the website. So
yeah,
if you didn't order, there will probably be another opportunity to buy some of them. So chill. Thank y'all.
Thank you so much.
All right. Today, I'm telling y'all about Kalinka Bamberski. Now, this is an international case. We're bouncing around a bunch of different countries. I'm trying my damnedest, but I'm sure I'm going to mispronounce stuff. So let's move on. It's a very slow yet very frustrating case, but I really love how justice is served. So you just hang tight.
It's a slow burn. Okay.
Sources: The Atavist Magazine, an article by Joshua Hammer. Bravo. It's a 10-chapter article which he interviews one of the key players. He rocked it. That was most. There's also a Guardian article and the Independent.
Wow.
Also great sources.
Mm-hmm.
On October 18th, 2009, just after 3 a.m., police in the town of Mulhouse, France, got an anonymous call telling them to go to the Rue de Toulouse, a street across from the customs office, and they'll find a man tied up.
Whoa.
2 squad cars went to said locations, lights on, sirens blaring, and between 2 buildings, they found a 74-year-old man bound, bleeding, gagged, tied to an iron gate, and very clearly beaten up.
Ooh.
He had a bad head injury and broken ribs, but he was alive.
Ooh.
When police removed the gag, the man immediately yelled, "Bamberski is behind this."
Bamberski, damn it.
The man he's referring to is Andrzej Bamberski. Andrzej grew up in Poland during World War II. He was very smart and would later become a successful accountant. In the 1960s, he met and married a woman named Danielle Gaughan. They moved to Casablanca, Morocco, where they had 2 kids, a daughter named Kalinka and a son named Nicholas. The kids went to the international school, and life was pretty good. Again, Andre was a successful accountant, so they lived in a nice house, nice neighborhood in Casablanca. I mean,
yeah,
dope.
Mm-hmm.
In 1974, the Bamberski family moved to a small town outside of Toulouse, France, which is near where Danielle grew up. About a year later, in 1975, Danielle told Andre that she got a job at a real estate office in Nice, which is like 350 miles away. Since it was so far away, she was going to rent an apartment there during the week and then come home on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And Andre's like, what? Why? You're not leaving me here with these friggin' kids.
Oh my God. Yeah. How old are the kids at this point?
Young.
Sorry. Okay.
Young.
Yeah. All right.
But he was like, he was doing well. She was,
Mhm.
it was fine. Like he was like, oh, why?
Yeah.
So he asked for the name of the real estate office and she wouldn't tell him.
Uh-oh.
Sketch AF.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, oh, okay, congrats. See you on the weekends. And one Sunday she leaves for Nice and he secretly follows her.
Sure.
But instead of going towards Nice, she drives to an apartment in Toulouse.
Oh.
Which is, again, only like 20 minutes away from their house. He asked the concierge about her and he said, oh, yes, that's Madame Kronbach. And Andre is shocked. She was having an affair and Andre knew the guy.
Oh.
It was Dieter Kronbach. And I'm sure it's pronounced like Dieter or Dieter or something, but it's spelled like Dieter from Laguna Beach. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that.
Sure. Mm.
He was their neighbor when they lived in Morocco and their kids went to school together.
Oh.
Dieter was a very respected cardiologist, and at the time of this affair, he was married to his second wife. He had 2 kids with his first wife, but she died unexpectedly of a cerebral hemorrhage when she was only 24 years old. Isn't that sad?
Yes.
So the Kronbachs lived like 4 doors down from the Bamberskis in Morocco. And I guess during that time, Dieter and Danielle struck up an affair. But around the time that the Bamberskis moved to France, the Kronbachs moved back to his home country of Germany. So Andre is really shocked. Like, how did this affair even carry on? He had no idea.
Wow.
So they're having these secret meetups. And he's like, oh, no. That's not going to work. No. And he filed for divorce.
Sure.
At the same time, Dieter divorced his wife. So Danielle and Dieter carried on with their relationship. They ended up getting married in 1977, and she moves to Lindau, Germany with him, giving Andre custody of the 2 kids, Kalinka and Nicholas.
Wow.
I know. Unusual.
That's shitty.
But he was a great dad. He was very...
I get that. But like, wow. I don't know. I'd be like, I mean, I want to see my kids. An affair doesn't mean I don't love my kids. I don't know. It just seems weird. Like, you just have custody.
Yeah, it is weird. By 1980, Andre was over living in France and wanted to move back to Morocco with the kids, which he was certain was within his legal rights, but he was mistaken.
Oh.
And she still had like she saw them.
Oh, okay.
She had visitation and stuff. It wasn't like she was like, all right, bye. It was nice knowing y'all.
Oh, okay. I thought it was complete abandonment.
No, not at all.
Okay.
But even so, especially for the late 70s, that is weird. The mom usually would. I would get custody, but no. No, she still had visitations. But so he wanted to move back to Morocco. That was not allowed. He did not know that. Just a few days after they left France, Danielle petitioned for custody and won. She was pissed because he was moving countries. So the kids moved to Lindau with their mom and Dieter, and Andre got them during holidays and vacations. They pretty much switched.
Oh, okay.
Then, sadly, tragedy struck. On July 9th, 1982, 14-year-old Kalinka, their daughter, spent the day at Lake Constance, windsurfing and just having fun. She came home around 5 p.m. complaining to Danielle and Dieter that she didn't feel well and she was really tired. So they had dinner around 7:30 p.m. and she went straight to bed. She woke back up at 10 p.m. for some water and then was up reading in her room until about midnight when they were like, all right, turn off the lights. It's time for bed.
How old is she?
14. Morning. The next morning, just before 10 a.m., Dieter was leaving to go horseback riding and went to wake up Kalinka, but couldn't. He tried to revive her, but it was way too late. She was already cold and stiff with rigor mortis.
Wow.
Rigor mortis was already setting in. He called emergency services, and Danielle called Andre to tell him the awful news, and he is devastated and obviously shocked. A healthy 14-year-old, like, what happened?
Right.
Obviously, they're getting an autopsy done, but in the meantime, the family's just overwhelmed with grief. They have her funeral, and she's buried at a Catholic church in France near Andre's house. which I guess after he lost custody of him, he ended up staying in France, probably to be closer to the kids because Morocco to Germany is thousands of miles,
Yeah.
whereas he was hundreds at this point. So
Mhm.
he ended up staying in France.
Mm.
So she's buried there at the Catholic Church. The autopsy determined that there was no foul play. She died in her sleep between 3 and 4 a.m. And even though the cause of death was officially documented as unknown, they suspected it was a heat stroke because she was on the lake all day and it was unseasonably hot that day, or delayed effects from a concussion she got when she was in a car wreck a couple years before this.
No, I reject that.
Right. Danielle sent Andre the autopsy, but there was no toxicology report with it, nor did it indicate that they had examined her for sexual assault. So he called Danielle asking where those results were, and she told him they didn't do those tests. And Andre was like, why? It's weird. She's a teenager. What if it shows that there was assault of some sort or a drug in her system? And Danielle essentially said that this was God's will and it just must have been Kalinka's time.
No, it's never a 14-year-old's time. Sorry.
Yeah, Andre said, fuck that.
Although I kind of like sexual assault, I'm like, but she was like inside the whole day. Drug in the system, yeah, I would do for sure toxicology. But maybe he's thinking someone like broke in and sexually assaulted her.
You're going to learn what draws him to this conclusion in a minute.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So Andre said, fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
And from this moment on, he was convinced someone was hiding something.
Yeah.
He consulted with 2 forensic pathologists in France who both agreed that it was weird that they didn't do a toxicology test or a rape kit.
Mm-hmm.
And with this, he became convinced. Dieter Kronbach, the stepdad, raped and murdered Kalinka. So now Andre is on a mission.
Oh.
In 1983, he hired an attorney who pressured the German prosecutor to order more tests and determine the cause of death.
93?
And 83.
Oh, 83.
A year after her death.
Okay. Yeah.
Almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
A new forensic pathologist named Wolfgang Spann re-examined the original reports and the samples taken from her body. And again, the no toxicology and no examination for sexual assault were big red flags. And here's why. Now you'll learn.
Okay. Teach and preach, girl.
There you go. Well, it's about to get graphic. Sorry. There's no way around it. It's not horrible, but it's just, she's 14. It's awful.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, it was reported that there was blood and a white substance found in her vagina.
Ew.
As well as a tear.
Yet
they didn't do a rape kit. What?
Oh my God.
Second, there were injection marks on her. 4 of them. When they asked him about it, Dieter said that when he found her, he injected her with the stimulant Coramin to try to revive her. And when that didn't work, he tried 2 other ones. And the original pathologist just took his word for it. Didn't check what it actually was in her system.
Oh my God.
Dr. Spann, the new guy looking at the report, was like, okay, well, what's this 4th injection? He found out that it was cobalt ferrolicet, which is an iron supplement that's pretty controversial. It can be really dangerous if you administer it without close supervision, especially after eating. It can cause nausea, fever, vomiting. And if the dosage is high enough, you can go into cardiac arrest.
What's it used for?
It's anemia.
Oh, okay.
So when he asked, why was she injected with that? It's not a stimulant. Dieter said that was from the night before. She asked to be injected with it because it's a way to enhance your tan. PSA, this is not true. Do not do that.
And if you have a cardiologist willing to do that for you,
just stick to dousing yourself in baby oil.
Right. I would sooner go to a tanning bed.
I mean, doesn't matter because it's
also disgusting.
Also disgusting. It doesn't matter because this does not enhance your tan. Whatever.
Yeah.
He would later change his story to say it was to treat her anemia, but she didn't have anemia.
Right. Very verifiable, I'm sure.
The autopsy reported that Kalinka had undigested food in her stomach and food particles in her lungs, so Dr. Spann determined that she must have gone into anaphylactic shock from the iron supplement, lost consciousness, and choked on her own vomit.
Oh.
And another expert agreed that this was probably what happened. Awful. So at the very least, even if the intent wasn't to kill her, Dieter negligently injected her with something that ended up killing her.
Right.
Yeah, the prosecutor didn't think that was enough evidence to investigate it any further, and he closed the case. Andre was obviously pissed, and now he's more convinced than ever that this was not negligence. So he takes matters into his own hands. In October 1983, he went to Oktoberfest in Lindau and handed out 2,000 flyers saying that one of their own, Dr. Dieter Kronbach, was a rapist and a murderer. He literally walked around giving them to people and yelling, "People of Lindau, you should know that a murderer, Dieter Kronbach, is living in your city. He raped and murdered my daughter on July 10th, 1982, and his crime has been covered up by doctors, the police commissioner, and the prosecutors. Please help me obtain justice."
Oh, guerrilla marketing, just passing out flyers.
Wow.
Smear campaign. I love it.
I know. Later that afternoon, though, he was arrested for disturbing public order, defaming Dieter, and injuring the reputation of the prosecutor.
Mm.
He had to stay in jail for 24 hours and pay about $1,000 as a bond. He was later ordered to pay 400,000 Deutsche Marks, which is an absolutely insane fine, but I don't think he ever paid it. There was a 5-year statute of limitations on his charges, so I think it just eventually went away. I don't think he paid it.
What is that?
Today, I looked it up. I want to say today it was like 200 grand, something insane.
Wow. Yeah.
He was like, "No, I'll just stay out of Germany for 5 years. I'm not doing that."
Right.
So as long as he did that, he did not pay it.
Mm.
He doesn't give a shit about this though. And now Andre's determination to get justice intensifies.
Yes.
Since Kalinka was a French citizen, French authorities are able to launch their own investigation. And if they determine that there's enough evidence, they could issue an international warrant for Dieter's arrest. So finally, in 1985, over 2 years after her death, they launched their own investigation. And they're not just reviewing reports from previous evidence. They're going back to square one and they exhume her.
Oh.
When they do, they don't learn anything new about how she died. They still think it was probably the iron supplement that caused her to pass out and choke. Awful. They also can't determine if she had been sexually assaulted because her genitals had been completely removed.
No.
They're gone.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I know.
Oh my God.
It's awful. They're like, by the way, no, against protocol. What?
Who is in cahoots with this guy? Oh
So
God.
they look into it, and 2 different German forensic labs handled her remains back then. So French authorities contact both of them and say, "The fuck? Where are they?"
Yeah.
And neither of them could trace them down. They had no idea what happened to them. They were seemingly thrown out. There's no record of it.
Oh God, I'm nauseous.
There's no record of it. To this day, they've never found them. This is especially weird and worth noting that Dieter was at the autopsy. He's listed on the report as one of the witnesses to it, which is very weird. Why would her stepdad be at the autopsy? Respected doctor, not very against protocol. And now some of her organs are missing after it was reported that there was blood and white substance in her vagina. Absolutely not.
Right.
It's so sketchy. Andre accuses German authorities of protecting Dieter, but they say, no, it was just sloppy forensic work. That's it.
Oh God.
Case is still closed.
Wow. Where is her mother?
Oh my God. I'll tell you in a minute. In 1988, 6 years after Kalinka was killed, the Institute of Legal Medicine in Paris analyzed tissue samples, her heart, her lungs, other vital organs, and determined that she died in a brutal manner, it said. And given the food particles found in her lungs and throat, asphyxiation and death would have occurred almost instantaneously. I'm quoting, that's what it said. Almost instantaneously after the injection. So no way in hell was there this like, here's a shot of this dangerous supplement. Everything's fine for a few hours. She goes to bed and doesn't wake up. She would have started having respiratory distress pretty much immediately. During this entire ordeal, Danielle, Kalinka's mom, Andre's ex-wife, Dieter's current wife, she never wavered on the fact that he was innocent.
Wait, is all that to say like they should have called emergency services well before the morning time? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
If he injected her with that, she immediately started having breathing problems and he should have done something and he didn't.
Right. Okay. So let's get back to that bitch.
Yeah. So Danielle maintains the entire time that he was innocent. He did nothing wrong. She and Dieter even ended up getting divorced in 1989, and she still maintained that even after the divorce. He did not do anything
Because you were
wrong.
involved, you were there that night and did nothing. Duh. Yeah, you're going to maintain both their innocence.
No, you'll learn about that too.
Golly, I'm going to learn a lot today.
This discovery was enough for the French prosecutor to charge Dieter with voluntary homicide, which can come with a 30-year prison sentence.
To start.
They asked German authorities to go arrest him, and they said, nah, we're good.
What?
No arrest, no extradition. They didn't want to comply, so France held a trial anyway, which was in March 1995. We are over a decade in.
Oh, my God.
There's so many years between each of these new developments.
Yeah.
Dieter isn't at the trial, obviously, so they convict him of murder in absentia, like in his absence, pretty much. And he was sentenced to 15 years in prison. But because Germany refused to send him over, he didn't have to serve one single second of it. Isn't that insane?
Well, I don't even know how that works. How can you hold a trial without, I don't know, extradition?
Well, Germany said the case is official. This is why they weren't going to comply with this. They don't think you can, essentially. They said the case was officially closed, therefore they can't extradite him. Plus, they said since there was a trial without Dieter there to defend himself, the trial was illegal. So as long as he stays out of France, he can walk free. And even though he was found guilty of murdering a 14-year-old girl, it's crazy.
I get, but why would France officials think that they could do that? Obviously,
well, it's a thing.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can't imagine.
I guess it is hard because Dieter's a German citizen. The victims of France. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I can't imagine what the ins and outs and the red tape that goes into an international crime. I mean, good Lord.
We kind of know.
I mean, yeah, that's true, actually.
We know
You're right.
how helpful Aruba was that one time.
Right. And although France did step up to do their own investigation, they didn't have to, I guess. They really dragged their feet. They don't really fight for him to come serve his time. It really seems like they did the bare minimum just to try to make everyone happy. But Dieter's the only one that's happy with this because he is living his best life in Lindau. He has a thriving internal medicine practice. He goes to his yacht club. He's in an equestrian club. Not a care in the world.
He didn't even lose his license?
No.
He, even if it was an accident, I bet, well, we have to take away your license because you willingly gave a 14-year-old something to help her tan or whatever.
Oh, no, his record is completely clean.
Oh,
No. They say, like, no wrongdoing. Case closed. Case is closed, so they are not reopening it. It's crazy. No, he's living his best life.
Oh, my God.
Fast forward a couple of years. In February 1997, a 16-year-old girl named Laura was getting an endoscopic exam, which can be uncomfortable. So she was given anesthesia.
That's the camera in your stomach?
I think so.
Been there, done that. Need it again.
Yeah.
But you're passed out. It's great.
She ended up waking up during the procedure, and the doctor was completely naked and lying on top of her.
Stop.
Do I need to tell you who the doctor was?
No, Dieter was the doctor, is what I'm going to guess.
That's right.
Oh, my God. That is a nightmare.
That sick fuck Dieter obviously didn't think she'd wake up. But at this point, he's smug. He can get away with anything.
Oh, yeah. He's real cocky.
So he just like sends Laura on her way with the assumption she wouldn't tell anyone. But Laura's the shit. And she got home, immediately told her parents, and he was arrested that night.
Thank God.
He was found guilty of raping a minor, and they took his medical license finally.
Thank you.
And he was sentenced to 2 years in prison. But given his clean criminal record and his prestige in the community, the judge suspended his sentence. Free again.
Oh, my God. He's smug. Well, I would be too. Let's be honest.
I know.
He's getting away with everything.
Literally. They don't. So he is able to walk free like a piece of shit, but they don't reinstate his license. He can never practice medicine again. But now people are outraged. There are protesters outside the courthouse, including 6 other women who came forward saying that he had also raped them, patients. He's a monster and shrugged off the accusations, even went on a radio show for an interview and said, no, they wanted to sleep with me.
Fuck you. Oh, oh my
He's
God.
disgusting.
6 other women. And how old was Laura?
16.
You're a renegade, Laura.
I know. What a badass.
Was it 6 other minors or women?
There's a lot of teenagers involved. Some,
Ew.
but I don't think those are all under 18, but young.
Oh.
Again, Andre's pissed when he hears about this.
Mm-hmm.
He finally got caught and exposed for who he is, yet again, he's not serving time. He's furious.
Oh my God.
He's had it, and after Dieter's released from this, he drove to Dieter's house and knocked on the door to tell him that he's a piece of shit and he will get justice.
Oh.
Dieter pretty much called him crazy and slammed the door in his face. And to me, Andre showed great restraint. I would have set him and his house on fire.
Yeah, I would have forced the entry for sure.
Yeah.
And probably killed him right then.
No, he walked away.
I would have put a bullet in his head and then said, he wanted to get tan. Negligence on my part. You know.
My bad.
My bad. Sorry. He wanted that.
The great doctor told me that this was a good omen and a good way to enhance your tan. So I did it.
So I don't know.
Sorry. No, he walked away and said, go fuck yourself. By the year 2000, Andre had quit his job, and now getting justice for Kalinka is his full-time job.
Oh, God.
I know. He keeps very close tabs on Dieter, literally follows him around, makes note about what he's doing, where he's living, because he's moved a couple of times by now. Everything.
Is it in Germany?
Yeah.
So Andre's just in Germany.
Yeah, he's in and out. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll make the drive. It's I can't remember now how many hours.
Yeah.
But he'll do it.
He'll do it for his child for sure.
Everyone in his life told him to cut it out. His own dad told him to drop it because nothing would ever be done about it. His attorney quit, said he just can't support Andre in this anymore. But Andre said, don't care.
Oh,
I want the truth and I'm not giving up. He said it was his moral duty.
Yeah.
In the early 2000s, he made a website dedicated to the case and started an organization called Association for Justice for Kalinka, which grew to about 1,000 members who helped with Andre's efforts. They'd write letters to French prosecutors, judges, senators, anyone who has influence to push it forward.
Mm-hmm.
But by now, the French authorities have pretty much washed their hands of it. They don't get it, honestly. In 2006, a woman in Rodental, didn't do that one. Sorry. In Rodental, Germany, which is a smaller town about 4.5 hours north of Lindau, went to her doctor for a routine checkup, but when she got there, she found out that her doctor had killed himself a few months earlier. Isn't that insane? So they were like, but you can see his temporary replacement. The replacement was acting like sort of weird. She just got a vibe. So just out of curiosity, she Googled him when she got home.
Oh my God.
Do I need to tell you who the temporary doctor was?
Shut up. How did this happen? Who fucked up?
Unbelievable. She typed in Dieter Kronbach and was horrified at what she saw.
That he's not a doctor at all? Excuse me, where are your diplomas on the wall? Why are we in an alley?
I thought it was weird that you took me to your car.
Right.
She immediately called the police to say, this dude is practicing medicine with no license. So get on. Trot, 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 trot. The police went to the clinic, but he was already gone. They think he must have caught wind or just got a vibe that, something's about to explode. So he's already gone and they cannot find him anywhere. The woman reached out to Andre because one of the articles she read on Google was about Kalinka's death and Andre's mission. So she called him and told him what happened, but that the police could not find him. And Andre said, oh, don't worry, I have his address.
Here you go.
This is where he's living right now. I have all of his addresses.
Yeah, I'm looking at him right now.
Close tabs, man. She gave the address to police and they went and arrested him.
Perfect.
An investigation showed that this is how he did it. An investigation showed that he found work as a substitute doctor for weeks or months at a time and would show a photocopy of his license telling them that the original was stolen. He did this at 28 different practices across Germany.
Shut up.
And all of them just took his word for it. Didn't do a background check. Didn't even Google him.
What?
It was all because a patient was like, this guy's weird. I want to Google him. That's the only way he got caught. Where are the nosy coworkers?
I mean, where are the authorities?
28 clinics. Not one looked into him at all. crazy. He's charged with fraud and practicing medicine without a license. Before his trial, they had 2 psychiatrists evaluate Dieter, and they determined that he was a chronic liar, a sexual predator, and a narcissist with delusions of grandeur and a belief that he was outside the law. I'm like, well, yeah, he hasn't had to pay for anything.
Of course he thinks that. He was being treated outside the law by German authorities.
They said that he was a serial predator and would likely keep preying on young victims and patients, even though he's not allowed to be a fucking doctor.
Until he's held accountable. Yeah.
Right.
Most do.
If he was not put in prison, he's just going to keep going. They said both psychiatrists separately said that. During the evaluation, Dieter admitted to one of them that he recently drugged and raped a 16-year-old girl.
What?
It was his cleaning lady's niece. He gave her Valium and then raped her. And they were like, you're such a piece of shit. We could not recommend prison more. They agreed, thank God.
Oh my God, I was so ready for you to say they dismissed his case or some shit.
He was found guilty, obviously. I mean, not obviously, I guess, at this point, and sentenced to 2 years in prison.
What?
I know. Andre was at his trial, I'm sure, giving both middle fingers the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And when Dieter was released, just about 18 months later, Andre was back on the case. Back to the mission.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever Dieter was living, Andre developed a network with other people in the community to keep an eye on him too and report back. He would go talk to neighbors and be like, hey, listen, this guy sucks and I'm had it with it. So let me know what you see.
And that would be so hard for Andre too, because I bet there's a lot of people who a guy comes up to their door and says, there's a murderer in this town and he's getting away with it. Will you help me? People will be like, are you crazy?
Early on, you know? Well, and a lot of people did call him crazy.
I'm sure.
He went to, just police departments throughout Germany, just handing out flyers, being like, there's an international warrant for this guy. Come on, y'all help me out. And some of them were like, you're a lunatic. But I think after the 16-year-old Laura, his conviction there, and this, people, it was verifiable. You could Google and be like, oh no, he is a sexual predator. Not a problem. I will definitely let you know what I hear about him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank goodness. Because in October 2009, one of these sources told him that Dieter was working again as a temporary physician in Austria.
Stop.
He moved to a town very close to the border. So he would just cross the border 20 minutes and go work in Austria as a temporary physician. Andre was like, for fuck's sake.
This guy.
He drove there. Andre drives there and starts talking to neighbors. And they said that they heard Dieter was about to move to West Africa. And this makes Andre very nervous. It's been, at this point, 27 years since Kalinka's murder. And France has a 30-year statute of limitations for murder. So he's scared if this asshole moves to yet another country, that's going to be the end of it.
Oh my, 30 years.
I think they've since extended it. But I couldn't, that's one of the things I was like, I got to stop looking at that.
No, I get it.
But I did read something, I think in 2017, they did sign something to extend it. But yeah.
To never.
Yeah. I would hope so. I would think murder's a big deal, especially if a kid. So he was like, oh, hell no, that cannot happen.
Right.
And he put a plan in motion that he had been thinking about for a really long time.
Probably 27 years.
On October 18th, 3 kidnappers busted into Dieter's apartment, beat the ever-living shit out of him, gagged him, bound him, threw him in the back of a car, and drove 150 miles and dragged him across the border, tying him to a fence and leaving him in Mulhouse, France. They drug his ass there.
Because that's the only way justice would be served if he was in France?
Yes.
Oh my God, they forced him. I love it. And they're like, you stay here.
Yeah. Andre got the call around 3 a.m. saying it was a done deal.
From his vigilantes.
It was a done deal. That piece of shit is on French soil. So he called the police, said, I am Bamberski. I had a daughter, Kalinka, who was raped and murdered by Dieter Kronbach, and there's an international warrant out for his arrest. Go find him on the Rue de Toulouse, across from the customs office, as you know.
Hell yeah.
The cop who answered this call told him that a woman with a German accent had just called minutes before, giving him the exact same information. Others also say that a man with a Russian accent was the one who made the original call. Here's how this came about. A few weeks before the kidnapping, a man called Andre's hotel room, I believe when he learned that yet again Dieter was a temporary physician in Austria.
He's at his wits' end.
He's at his wits' end. So a man called his hotel room, and he'd only say his first name, which was Anton. And he told Andre he could help get Dieter to France. They met at a park the next afternoon to discuss the plan. Anton said he was a humanitarian who had followed this story and just wanted to get justice for Kalinka. He did not want any payment, but Andre insisted on paying him for at least the cost to cover it, which was they landed on 20,000 euros.
Mm-hmm.
Leading up to this, Andre had been very open about having Dieter kidnapped. He wanted to make this happen.
Yeah.
He inquired with a private investigator in Austria who said, no, I can't do that. He talked very openly about it with people in his network, really anyone. Like one source said he would talk to waiters about it who would be like, no, I'm not going to help you do that. Anyway, so he figured Anton just heard through the grapevine, through, this network he's created. Andre took Anton to Dieter's apartment building and showed him which apartment was his. And Anton essentially said, okay, I'll take it from here. You go home and wait for a phone call. He's 70. Andre was not one of the three because he's 74 years old at this point,
but okay. Yeah. But he has the energy of a 20-year-old. This guy sounds like
badass.
Yeah. I would want to get my hands on him after 27 years. Please.
Yeah. A week after this, on October 17th at 10 p.m., a woman with a German accent, the same one he assumed called the police before him, called Andre and said, be prepared to go to Mulhouse. 5 hours later, around 3 a.m., she called again saying Dieter was now in France and Andre should go ahead and warn the police.
Wow.
Andre didn't know who the other two accomplices were. It's rumored to be Russian mobsters. I believe Dieter said the three that beat the shit out of him were men. So we don't know who this woman is. We don't know. Don't really care.
Wow.
Love it. Either way, they got shit done, and French authorities finally arrested him for Kalinka's murder.
Hell yeah, Andre, you did it. I was kind of hoping the woman was going to be Danielle to redeem herself a little bit, but guess not.
She comes around. We'll get there. Unfortunately, Andre was also arrested for kidnapping.
I'm sure he was, but at this point, my daughter's murderer and rapist. So So fine, charge me with kidnapping, whatever.
He pretty much does say that. They searched his hotel room.
And I'm 74 years old. Fine, give me 15 years. Bleh.
No, that's too many.
That's too many, obviously. But what do I care? I got justice for my daughter, which was truly my life's mission. So do whatever you want.
Yeah. They searched his hotel room and found the 20,000 euros.
Mm-hmm.
They also found a piece of paper with Anton's name and number on it and realized it was Anton Krasnicki. So he was also arrested. Again, the other two, no idea where they are, who they are. They're free and clear. During questioning, again, Andre was very upfront about everything. He said he didn't initiate the kidnapping, but he was thrilled with the results. He was willing to accept any punishment. It was very worth it. He would do it over again in a heartbeat. Go ahead. It gets pretty satisfying.
Oh my God. Hold on. Let me just take it in. Good for Andre.
I mean, good for Anton.
Good for Anton. Do you have any remorse to this? No, not at all.
No.
That's what I would love it. It would be so satisfying. No, I've been working 30 years at this.
Yeah.
And I'm just under the statute of limitations. My God, I'm thrilled.
Yeah. He was more than thrilled.
Mm-hmm.
Germany asked France to extradite Andre and Anton so they could charge them to the same crime. And France said, LOL.
LOL.
No.
Yeah,
they said, absolutely not. How frustrating, right? You want to charge our citizens, but we won't let you? Isn't that annoying?
Oh my God. I thought you were going to say they did it. Okay.
Hell no.
Great.
No, they said absolutely not.
Yeah. Hell no.
Dieter's attorneys tried to get the charges against him thrown out since his capture was illegal, but France said, no, we're reinstating all the charges. We don't give a shit.
Yeah.
His trial started in 2011. By now, he's 76 years old and not in good health.
Oh, gosh.
Danielle came to the trial. Again, Kalinka's mom. There's a lot of players in here, so I'm just going to clarify again.
Mm-hmm.
Kalinka's mom and Andre's ex-wife. And just side note, Andre ends up, I don't think they're remarried, but they're like lifelong partners. Another woman named Danielle. So I didn't even bring her. Bring her into it. But isn't that
did
crazy?
The right thing. Yeah, that is crazy.
So Kalinka's mom, Danielle, came to his trial and learned through witness testimony that when they were married, Dieter often slipped her sedatives so that he could bring other young girls over to the house, even as young as 16 years old. Again, that happened
Oh.
several times.
What?
So Danielle thinks back, and she always thought it was weird how late she slept the morning he found Kalinka's body. She said she slept in far later than she ever sleeps. And she always thought that was weird. And it was the morning that they found her body.
Well, knowing he always did this, duh. Like, you didn't tap in back then.
She learned it at the trial.
Oh, she learned. Oh.
The victims testified and said, he would give his wife, he would slip sleeping pills in his wife's drink and then bring me to the house and rape me.
Oh my God. Wow.
That she learned that at the trial, 27 years later, almost 30 years later. So she's confident. And again, she always thought it was weird. She slept in that morning. So she thinks he probably did it that night.
100%.
To carry out this disgusting attack on her 14-year-old daughter.
So she really had no idea he was a rapist.
No.
Wow.
I think they got divorced because he was cheating with like a consenting adult, but she did not know about all this.
Oh.
Now, learning this at the trial, she says she's kicking herself for not asking more questions later. She says she's kicking herself for not asking more questions back then.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess her hindsight's 2020, even though all the stuff leading up to this was really damning, though. It's very.
She heard about Laura, right? Like, come on.
I'm sure she started questioning it then, but they weren't communicating. I don't know.
And I bet there's a whole mental process with that. Like, I was in the house. I put my daughter in harm's way. I bet that's a lot to take in, years probably.
Yeah. So, she's, Team Andre through and through now, but Nicholas, the Kalinka's little brother, kind of mirrored her sentiment of like, I've like been quiet, but I really resent how much you stuck up for this asshole.
Oh, how old was he?
I don't know. I don't know. Younger than, it was Kalinka's younger brother, and this is 30 years later. So an adult for sure.
Yeah.
But he
resents his mom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because he knew that Dieter was an asshole. He knew it was likely. Andre was a great dad, and he was on a mission, and he believed everything Andre had been convinced of. So he was like, I just can't believe mom is not like questioning what happened to our 14-year-old. Like, it's crazy.
And it's God's will.
Yeah. So he was like, I'm glad you've come around, but I do not like it.
Right.
Prosecutors had experts reevaluate the tissue from Kalinka's body using better technology that obviously wasn't around in the 80s. And this time they found that she had benzos in her system. A sedative. I mean, a very clear date rape drug.
Yeah. That's probably what he used on Danielle too. Probably the son too. Right. No one can wake up when I'm raping these girls.
Right.
Oh God. He probably did it all the time to all three of them.
Yeah. Several of his other victims testified. Again, that's how Danielle learned about all this. And we learned that Andre wasn't the only parent fighting for justice for a very untimely death of a child. Remember his first wife died unexpectedly?
Yeah, I do.
Well, her name was Monica, and her family said, no, she did not die naturally. Apparently, Dieter was insanely abusive towards her, and weeks after she was hospitalized for a very mysterious illness that paralyzed her, Dieter went into her hospital room, literally elbowed her doctor out of the way, injected her with something. We do not know what. We still don't know what. And she died hours later of a cerebral hemorrhage. And nobody questioned this.
The doctor who he did this to? No, are you outside of your mind?
I mean, he was I guess because of his credentials, the doctor just figured like he knows what he's doing. I'm not going to ruffle the feathers.
I am shocked.
They never looked into a tie between what he could have injected her with and her death. Her mom would later call it snake venom. That's what she calls it. She's like, I don't know what it was, but she died hours later. Give me a effing break.
24 years old.
Isn't that insane?
Oh my God.
And they said cerebral hemorrhage, an artery in her brain. They determined a cause of death for her.
Wow.
Crazy.
Oh. What a monster.
I mean,
who got away with every little thing.
I know. He was found guilty of this is a mouthful, voluntary violence leading to unintentional death with aggravated circumstances. And he was sentenced to 15 years in prison, for which is a life sentence for him.
Yeah.
He maintained his innocence until he died in 2020 at the age of 85.
From COVID?
No, I don't. He was in bad health anyway. You know, he was 85.
What was Andre sentenced to? I joked earlier about 15-year sentence for him. Oh,
Yeah.
Good. He should get a day. Should be suspended.
Well, then you'll be happy. Here's what Andre. Okay. Well, first, here's what Andre thinks happened that night. After the rest of the family went to sleep, Dieter encountered a Kalinka in the kitchen when she was getting water, slipped her a benzo, raped her, and then freaked out because she might tell, and he didn't want to deal with the consequences. So he gave her a lethal injection of that cobalt ferricet, whatever the hell you say. And he believes killing her was very much intentional. The charge I just read said unintentional. No, very much intentional. But even with all that, he is satisfied with the sentence and that Dieter was exposed as the pervert that he was, as he put it.
Mm-hmm.
Andre and Anton both went to trial, and they were both found guilty of kidnapping. Andre received a 1-year sentence, suspended.
Good.
So he didn't have to serve any time. And Anton also got a 1-year sentence. I couldn't find how much time he served. But in 2022, there was a Netflix documentary called My Daughter's Killer, and they're both in it. And again, they reiterate that they do not regret one thing. They do it again.
Good.
Yeah.
Look,
Same,
we
girl.
went. I don't think we should go to trial. I wouldn't have had to do this had you arrested him from the jump.
I know.
I wouldn't have to take matters into my own hands if the authorities did what the authorities
should have done.
Do.
Yeah. It's
I'm doing your job. So
he drained his savings. This was all on his dime. All of it was on his dime. Crazy.
I want to see that Netflix.
I know. I should have watched it. I wouldn't have gotten in so many rabbit holes about it's just two countries fighting about legal proceedings.
Right.
Like, Germany said they can't extradite him because what France did with the trial without him was illegal. And France like, no, that's not illegal. Here's what, I'm like, God, I don't know.
You could spend months researching.
It's impossible.
Wow.
Joshua Hammer, the journalist who did that great article and interview with Andre for the Atavist magazine in 2012, right after Dieter was sentenced, he and Andre visited Kalinka's grave. And while there, Andre bent down and said to her, Kalinka, you see, I promised that I would give you justice. Now you can rest in peace.
Oh my God, I'm going to tear up.
Isn't that? Oh. And someone else put it, because everyone actually applauded him for his restraint. He could have told those 3 guys, kill him.
Right.
Brutally torture him.
Right.
And they would have done it. But they said he didn't want revenge. He wanted justice.
Yeah.
He is amazing.
Angel. That Netflix was in 2022 and he's in it?
Yeah.
He is 117.
No.
He's not.
76.
I thought he was 76 at the trial.
He was, no, Dieter was 76 at his trial. They're like 1 or 2 years apart. Andre's a little younger. He was 74 when they got Dieter.
In 2009?
Yeah. Or no, Dieter was 74. So he was 71
so he's
or
like
something.
8.
He's,
Okay.
He's
not 117.
No.
Wow.
Isn't that an incredible fight for justice from a dad who killed it? Just did great. I'm pissed that it took 27 years, but listen, never gave up.
Never gave up. You need to go to the police academy, even now, today.
Really?
Just do it.
He had a big weight lifted off his shoulders. His neighbors and like all of his friends were like, and his new Danielle were like, he's a different person.
Oh, he's lighter, I'm
he's
sure.
Lighter. He plays golf.
Good.
He's
finally enjoying
life. Oh,
wow.
That's the crazy story of Kalinka Bamberski. Again, not really one I typically cover, but I'm like, God, what a badass.
I
really
love
stuck to it.
Yeah, I love an investigation like that. And where they dragged that piece of shit across the border is beautiful.
It's beautiful. Middle of the night attack.
Chef's kiss.
For real. Patrons: Mary, Darian, Melissa, Haley, Lauren, Amber, Morgan, Katie, Sam, Lori, Taylor, Jackie, Kelsey, Atkin, Carter, Caitlin, Justine, Lucy, Carly, Amanda, Laura, Anna, Susie, Lauren, Bailey, Kelsey. What's
What? I
up?
was trying to get my mouth bigger and bigger smile with every name, but I had to stop.
I know, it's so
Wow.
exciting. I just
Yes.
fulfilled some Patreon gifts. More coming. Again, there's a little delay. I'm sorry, I'm overwhelmed.
I know, and she's a one-woman show. I got to come up there. I'll help you.
You really have to. Custom shout outs. I love this. Listen to this. This is crazy. The first one's from Lauren. Here's the parallel universes. My BFFs growing up were identical twins, Rachel and Rebecca. My son's name is Barrett. My maiden name is Payne.
Stop.
I'm from North Carolina and also lived in Mississippi for a bit. I love you guys. You make my days as a high school English teacher so much better. And I got you one better too, or not better, but another one for you. Our sister's name is Lauren.
Her name's that's Lauren. Right. Oh my God.
How crazy is that?
Wow.
Crazy.
We're supposed to meet.
I mean, I love shit like that.
Me too. It's so weird.
Weird.
That's insane. Thanks, Lauren. My God. Do you want to jump on a Zoom and talk about it?
I mean, what else we got? Where in North Carolina and where in Mississippi? Let's go. Look, the next one's from Lori. I love this podcast so much. You guys are amazing and make me want to listen to true crime again because it is not scripted. Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, God. It would be so uncomfortable.
Oh, God. I watch you guys on YouTube and love the facial expressions, and it is like sitting down with my besties. Oh, thanks.
That's my favorite compliment. I love it.
I do too. Oh, my God. No, we would never be scripted. Don't worry. I mean, we write it out. Like I'm not telling this story from memory. Well, remember someone asked,
yeah,
do I actually write it out and read? I was like, oh my God, it would be such a jumbled
misinformation we would give everyone if we did not write it out.
Oh my God, just spreading bullshit. We'd be like, what's that guy's name? Whatever. He's Jared. Whatever. The last one's from Kelsey. Want to shout out my sister's animal rescue, True Rescue in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
Working daily to care for hundreds of animals in their network, taking on cases no one else wants to. I'm so proud of her. Oh, go True Rescue.
Go.
Mount Juliet, Tennessee. Go True Rescue.
Go rescue.
People like animals much more than humans.
Mm-hmm.
This show isn't called Dogs Are the Worst.
No.
It's people. People are the problem.
Dogs are the best.
You know.
And so are you.
Thank y'all so much for listening. And again, y'all are the best. People are the worst.
Are the worst. Bye.